Hope someone comes along and says there's money in supporting Meghan and her brand. I thought she and Harry acted very badly. The Supreme Court in London has never seen anything like this. Forget the Netflix shows. It's really hard to look back now and wonder, what in the world happened? The Opera interviews. Now someone with sharp eyes has noticed a possible untruth in the Opera interview, or all the complaints about people prying into their lives. What just happened in Courtroom Number 7 has broken everything you thought you knew about Harry and Meghan's fairy tale love story. When a famous reporter, Tom Bower, stood in court and said two names, Trevor Engelson and Operation Cuckoo, everyone in the room got very confused. Harry froze, his face losing all color. Meghan ran out of the courtroom crying, her calm act falling apart for everyone to see. And the British royal family is facing its biggest problem in modern times. This isn't just talk or newspaper gossip. This is what someone said under oath, a man who has ruined the good names of very rich people and politicians with only true facts. And what he said about who Archie's real father is could change who becomes king or queen forever and ruin Meghan and Harry's reputation forever. Are you ready to find out why Buckingham Palace has kept this secret for almost 10 years? Are you ready to learn what Trevor Engelson, Meghan's ex-husband who everyone forgot, has to do with the British throne? Subscribe now. Hit the like button and don't look away because the truth is about to come out. The person who will bring down the truth arrives. January 2026. The sky over London isn't just gray. It's heavy with the feeling that secrets will be revealed. Crowds gather at the Supreme Court of Justice, not for a regular fight over property or a celebrity divorce. They've come to see either the downfall of modern royalty or the revealing of the biggest lie of the century. Inside Courtroom Number 7, it's hard to breathe. Reporters from all over the world fill every seat, their pens ready over notepads, waiting. The feeling of nervousness is very strong, almost you can feel it. And then he walked in. Tom Bower with silver hair and sharp eyes. A man who doesn't just tell stories, he carefully destroys reputations. In the world of investigative reporting, Bower is not just respected, he is feared. From powerful media owners to dishonest politicians, anyone who he focuses on knows one clear truth. When Tom Bower speaks in court, he has facts that cannot be argued against. He never acts without evidence. He never blames without proof. But this time, his target isn't a big company or a disgraced leader. His target is the very basis of the British royal family's bloodline itself. Look at the people watching. Prince Harry sits there, his shoulders tight under his dark suit jacket. His stare, which has often burned with anger at the press, now holds something different. Emptiness, a deep sadness that suggests a man who is about to find out a truth that will destroy him. Beside him sits Meghan Markle, still looking elegant like a Hollywood star, but watch her hands. They squeeze her handbag so hard her knuckles are white. That carefully kept calm look, it's about to completely break apart. Tom Bower's voice cuts through the courtroom, deep, strong, and shocking. He doesn't waste time on family fights or arguments about bridesmaid dresses. He goes straight for the most important part. The true family line of Archie Harrison Mountbatten-Windsor. When Bower says the name Trevor Engelson, Meghan's supposed forgotten ex-husband, followed by the words, genetic comparison results, everyone there feels a shiver. This is no longer just internet rumors. This is what one of Britain's most respected investigative reporters said under oath. The room becomes so quiet it's scary. You can hear the gasps from the royal family's lawyers. Harry, the man who gave up everything, his titles, his safety, his relationship with his father and brother to protect his small family. Looks like his spirit has been taken away. His mouth drops open. His eyes get wide, staring at nothing. Perhaps at that moment, thousands of small pieces from his past, lingering doubts, times he wasn't there that were not explained, hurried timelines, suddenly connect to form one terrible picture. And Meghan's reaction, it's the clearest answer to the confusion. There's no strong denial, no brave stare. Instead, there's a complete emotional breakdown. Tears stream down her face. She stands up quickly, walking, almost running out of the courtroom, leaving security guards shocked. The sound of the wooden door slamming behind her feels like the final ending mark on a modern Cinderella story. Why would a famous reporter like Tom Bower choose this exact moment to reveal everything? What does he have in his hands that could shake an entire royal family to its core? Operation Cuckoo, the file that changes everything. To understand the shocking power of Bower's statement, you need to understand the man who is saying it. Tom Bauer isn't a blogger making up ideas from his home. He's a retired lawyer, a skilled BBC investigative reporter who has spent many years trying to expose those who think they are untouchable. His list of people he has exposed reads like a list of powerful people. Very rich media owners, dishonest politicians, powerful business leaders. Each one thought they were safe. Each one learned that Bauer works by one cold rule. He never acts without having enough evidence to guarantee complete destruction. When Bauer wrote Revenge in 2022, the world was surprised by what he revealed about Meghan. But what he's revealing in this London courtroom goes much, much further. Under strong questioning by Meghan's expensive legal team, Bauer remains strangely calm, almost cold and composed. He doesn't offer emotional guesses. Instead, he asks the court clerk to show a complicated drawing on the courtroom's very large screen. It's a timeline of Meghan Markle's life from 2013 to 2018, a time he calls the record of overlaps. Bauer begins to uncover each part with careful accuracy. He looks closely at 2013, when Meghan finished her divorce from film producer Trevor Engelson. According to the official story Meghan and Harry have always told, Meghan became an independent woman, able to take care of herself, completely cutting ties with her past to start her journey toward royal love. But Bauer shows a completely different truth. Through hotel records, checked phone calls, and statements from former staff members, he states that the connection between Meghan and Trevor never truly ended. The room all leans forward. This isn't just hints, this is written proof. Bauer's voice stays steady as he tells the court what he found. Trevor Engelson's presence remained throughout Meghan's relationship with Harry. Between July 2016, when Meghan first met Harry, and their public announcement that they were engaged, there were unexplained empty spots in Meghan's schedule while she was filming Suits in Toronto. These empty spots, according to Bauer's proof, strangely happened at the same time as unannounced trips made by one specific person, Trevor Engelson. The courtroom temperature seems to drop several degrees. What really makes everyone there feel shivers is how Bauer describes his sources. He reveals he got information from the palace's gatekeepers, servants who had worked there for a long time and saw what happened from behind the fancy curtains of Kensington Palace. These people stayed quiet for almost 10 years out of loyalty to the Queen. But with a lot of proof and the problems around Meghan and Harry, they chose to speak to Bauer. Think about what that means. People inside the palace who have spent their lives keeping royal secrets have broken their silence. They went against hundreds of years of rules because what they saw was too important to hide. Bauer says that doubts about Archie's father are not from meanness, but from simple common sense. He asks a very damaging series of questions that the courtroom and the world cannot ignore. Why is every detail about Archie's birth covered in such a deep fog? Why did the famous royal doctors refuse to sign the normal birth certificate, going against hundreds of years of tradition? And most importantly, why did Meghan insist on changing important information on her son's birth certificate just months after he was born? These are not just questions to think about. They are the main points of Bauer's case. But he doesn't just expose Meghan. He also indirectly shows Harry's poor judgment. Bauer shows Harry as a puppet in a perfectly planned play where truths about family bloodlines were traded for promises of unending love. Bauer claims he has copies of secret reports from royal security forces who were told to watch Meghan's relationships before the wedding. According to Bauer, these reports have many warning signs about the unwanted presence of old boyfriends in Meghan's life right before her royal wedding. The power of this testimony doesn't come from how much there is. It comes from the quiet certainty of someone holding undeniable truth. Bauer looks right at Harry and says words that will bother the prince forever. The truth doesn't belong to anyone. It simply exists, and my job is to bring it out of the dark place where it has been hidden. At that moment, all of London realizes this is no longer just a family argument. This is a cleansing of history, and Tom Bauer holds the key to a very dangerous secret. The secret the British royal family has been trying very hard to keep hidden, the Trevor connection. Hollywood's forgotten prince. Why Trevor? What does a Hollywood film producer have to do with who becomes king or queen of Britain? These are questions millions of people are asking. Tom Bauer has answers that will upset you. Bauer doesn't say Meghan is a victim of the media. He calls her what the facts suggest, a very smart planner. Trevor Engelson isn't just an ex-husband who can be pushed aside and forgotten. He's the man who stayed with Meghan for almost 10 years. From when she was a struggling actress with small parts trying to make a name for herself to when she became famous with Suits. Trevor is the one who remembers everything, knows all her habits, understands all her ambitions. Most importantly, he understands the darkest parts of Meghan's calculated rise to power. Parts that perhaps Prince Harry, deeply in love, has never truly understood. In court, Tom Bower asked a question that made everyone in the room shiver. Could a woman as calculating as Meghan truly cut off her connection to her past when she wasn't sure she had a strong hold on the new life she was starting? Based on his investigation, Bower showed what he called unusual communication patterns. Between 2016 and early 2017, right when Meghan was having romantic moments with Harry under the cameras, she supposedly kept up a complicated connection with Trevor behind the scenes. Bower claims Meghan used secret email accounts and very secure messaging apps. For what reason? To talk about Hollywood business opportunities or to keep a safe way out in case her royal dream failed. But the absolute most important part of Bower's statement is what he calls the timeline of genetics. This is a harsh but very logical argument. Bower asks why Meghan pressured Harry to rush the wedding at such an unusual, almost desperate speed. Why the desperate rush to marry when their love was still strong and the palace hadn't yet put much pressure on them? The answer Bower gave in court was like a knife to Harry's heart. It was a biological truth found at the end of 2018. Bower argued that if Meghan got pregnant during a time when relationships were still confusing, when the connection with Trevor hadn't been completely cut off, she would have faced a terrible choice. On one side, Trevor, the ex-partner who no longer had any value in terms of importance or power. On the other, Harry, the golden ticket that would raise her to the very top of worldwide fame and wealth. Bower states that Meghan's choice wasn't based on what her heart wanted. It was based on who was more powerful, a careful decision about which path offered the most benefits. This isn't about a normal affair. This directly attacks the rules of who can become king or queen. If what Bower says is true, that Archie has Trevor Engelson's bloodline instead of Harry's, then the child has absolutely no royal blood. None. This means Archie being in line for the throne would be a national fraud, a serious breaking of the law. Tom Bower called this a painful psychological examination. He argued that the whole Megxit event in 2020, when Harry and Meghan dramatically left their royal duties, wasn't actually about racism or wanting privacy, as they claimed in their Netflix show and opera interview. Bower insists it was an escape, a desperate try to take Archie away from the control of royal doctors and avoid the strict DNA tests that the palace would surely require as the child grew up and showed physical features that did not look like Harry. Look at Harry in that courtroom moment. The man who gave up his home country, publicly criticized his father, supposedly broke the heart of his late grandmother, all to protect what he called family privacy. He had no idea he might have been protecting a genetic lie. At the end of this part, Tom Bower left a question hanging in the air that made the entire courtroom fall into a painful silence. Why? When suspicions about Archie's bloodline started to spread within the palace, did Meghan go to such extreme lengths to move Harry and the child to California, where privacy laws would become the strongest protection to hide this deception? The memory of Trevor Engelson is no longer just in the past. It's happening now, tearing apart Meghan and Harry's future. The palace knew why keeping quiet became being part of the problem. Many people make a big mistake, thinking Buckingham Palace always does nothing when there are scandals. According to Tom Bower, the truth is the complete opposite. Under the rule of the late Queen Elizabeth II, a woman who spent her whole life protecting the importance of the crown, the rules of bloodline were never allowed to be broken. Bower made a shocking statement in court that made everyone in the audience gasp. The palace was not unaware. Right after Archie was born at Portland Hospital in May 2019, while the world celebrated the happiness of Meghan and Harry, behind the thick stone walls of Buckingham Palace, a secret DNA testing process was quietly started. Bower called it a routine health check, but its real purpose was very important for the monarchy to survive. So, where is the result of that test now? Sources connected to Bower's palace informants confirm it has never been made public. It was sealed and stored in a special safe deep within the palace's wine cellar, a place where only the highest-ranking family members have keys to get in. You're probably asking the obvious question, why keep it hidden? If the result shows Archie doesn't have Windsor blood, why wasn't it revealed back in 2019 when the truth could have been managed? Tom Bower offered a harsh explanation based on how to stay in power. Imagine an empire falling apart. In 2019, the British royal family was already struggling from the terrible scandal involving Prince Andrew and his connections to Jeffrey Epstein. If another fraud, this time involving who the father was within the direct line of succession, was revealed, it would mean the end of the monarchy's trustworthiness. King Charles, who was then still Prince of Wales, and Prince William faced a tough choice: reveal the truth and see the public lose faith in the monarchy, or choose to stay quiet to protect the institution's survival. They chose the second option. They chose silence. But this kindness and carefulness created what Bauer calls a media monster. The palace's silence accidentally gave Meghan Markle the perfect shield. She understood that the palace would never dare reveal the truth, fearing the scandal would be too damaging. And from that safe position, the attacks on the royal family through shocking interviews and documentaries began to happen with great success. But the detail that is most striking in Bauer's story concerns Prince Harry himself. Bauer emphasizes that Harry may be the most tragic victim in this whole drama. He's trapped in what Bauer calls a glass cage of lies. Harry fights the world, battles his own family, gives up everything to protect his wife and children without ever realizing he might be defending a genetic lie that he himself has not been told about. He believed every word Meghan said, trusted in the happiness of being a father, while possibly being used as a tool for a clever grab for power. Bauer's testimony about this DNA report isn't just an accusation. It's a warning signal about the emptiness behind grand ceremonies and fairy tale stories. If what he says is true, then Archie, the child who is seventh in line to the throne, is in fact not related to the Windsor bloodline. And when this truth came out in court in January 2026, we understand that the price of silence the palace has paid over the years has become an enormous debt that could destroy everything. The silence that screams guilt. In the world of fancy talks and royal families, keeping quiet is often thought to be a good thing. But after Tom Bauer's shocking statement about who the father is, the silence from Meghan and Harry's home in Montecito is no longer good. It starts to feel like a quiet confession. Let's look at the facts simply. Meghan Markle has never hesitated to sue big newspapers for even the smallest intrusions into her privacy. She has filed lawsuits for bad photos. She has taken legal action against publications for printing a private letter to her father. Yet, she remains completely silent in the face of an accusation that could destroy her entire reputation and her son's future. Why hasn't an immediate lawsuit for defamation been filed against Tom Bauer? Why has the Sussex office, which is very sensitive to any rumors, allowed the names Trevor Engelson and Operation Cuckoo to be freely discussed in global media for weeks? The only quick and very effective way to silence Tom Bauer, who is risking his entire reputation on this testimony, would be a public DNA test, clear for everyone to see and watched by independent groups. That would be the final blow to end all conspiracy theories forever. But ladies and gentlemen, their choice to hide raises a huge question. Could it be they cannot show that evidence because the truth simply isn't what they want it to be? Think about what Meghan's legal plan has always been: aggressive, quick, overwhelming force against any perceived insult. The silence now is very noticeable exactly because it is so unlike her. Let's talk about Harry, the saddest person in this whole chaotic situation. People close to him say he is living completely alone at his Montecito house. Try to imagine being someone who has given up everything. Titles, military protection, family connections with father and brother, even national pride. All to protect the woman he loves and the child he believes is his own flesh and blood. And now he faces the scary possibility that all those sacrifices were built on a foundation of clever lies. If Archie does not have the Windsor bloodline, the results go far beyond hurt feelings. The boy would not only lose his royal title and his position as seventh in line to the throne, he would lose his entire understanding of the world, the identity he's being raised to understand. This would be the most cruel taking away of identity imaginable for a child. And for Harry, there would be no going back to the royal family, for he would have unknowingly become a helper in a constitutional fraud. The truth always finds a way out. Tom Bauer has started a fight where no one will truly win. The genetic documents he mentions, if indeed brought forward in more explosive legal processes to come, will force the British Parliament to get involved. This is no longer just about one family's drama. It's a question of the nation's correctness. In this royal game, the truth may be hidden behind strong wine cellars or American privacy laws, but it always finds a small opening through which to escape. History has shown this again and again. Who has the final say in this game? Is it Tom Bauer with his network of secret palace sources? Is it Buckingham Palace with its methods to protect the monarchy at any cost? Or is it Meghan herself potentially holding evidence that could either prove her right completely or destroy her forever? The story in the London courtroom may have finished its first part, but its effects will be felt throughout the British monarchy for many years to come. Parliamentary investigations are being demanded. Experts on the Constitution are being asked for advice. The line of succession itself may need to be looked at and possibly changed. Think about what this means. If Parliament is forced to investigate, they would need to demand DNA evidence. They would need to question Trevor Engelson directly under oath. They would need to examine Meghan's movements, communications, and relationships during the important time between 2016 and 2018. This wouldn't be newspaper rumors anymore. It would be an official government investigation into whether a royal heir is legitimate. The constitutional problem would be bigger than anything seen in modern British history. For Harry, the emotional damage is almost too much to imagine. Every happy moment with Archie would now be spoiled by doubt. Every photograph, every important moment, every proud father moment, all possibly built on a lie. The man who walked away from everything to protect his family may discover he was protecting a made-up story. And what about Archie himself? If the truth is, as Bauer suggests, this innocent child becomes the center of a scandal he had no part in creating. His entire identity, his understanding of who he is and where he comes from would be broken. The emotional harm could be deep and long-lasting. What happens next? The legal processes are far from over. Bauer's testimony was just the first shot fired. People close to the case suggest he has more evidence he hasn't shown yet. Documents, communications, perhaps even what Trevor Engelson himself says. Meghan and Harry's legal team faces a very hard situation. If they sue for defamation, they open themselves up to discovery, meaning Bauer's lawyers could legally force DNA testing, communication records, and testimony under oath. If they stay quiet, the accusations stand unchallenged, becoming more believable every day. Buckingham Palace faces its own terrible situation. If they confirm Bauer's claims, they admit to years of hiding fraud and possibly invalidating Archie's place in succession. If they deny the claims without proof, they risk Bauer releasing evidence that makes them look like they helped with the deception. The only winners in this situation might be the British newspapers, who are having their best time since the death of Princess Diana. But for everyone else, Harry, Meghan, Archie, the royal family, the institution of monarchy itself, this is a complete disaster. Will the truth be revealed in secret files finally brought to light? Or will it remain as hard-to-find pieces hidden under layers of power, legal tricks, and the institution protecting itself? The questions we must ask. As we think about this shocking testimony, we need to ask ourselves some difficult questions. If Tom Bauer is lying or even exaggerating, why hasn't he been sued out of existence? His testimony was given under oath in a court of law. Lying under oath has serious punishments, including charges of perjury. Would a reporter as famous as he is risk his entire career and possible prison time on made-up stories? If Meghan has nothing to hide, why not immediately provide DNA evidence to silence critics forever? One simple test done by independent labs, watched by neutral people, would end this nightmare instantly. The silence suggests either a legal plan or something more troubling. If the palace truly has evidence in a locked safe proving Archie's Windsor bloodline, why not release it? What possible reason is there to keep that evidence secret if it would clear Meghan and Harry and end the speculation? If Harry truly believes Archie is his biological son, why does he look so sad in those courtroom pictures? Why the troubled expression? Why the inability to meet anyone's eyes? These questions don't have easy answers, and that's exactly why this story has captured the world's attention so completely. The final decision. What started as a royal love story celebrated worldwide as a modern fairy tale may end as the biggest deception in recent royal history. Tom Bauer's testimony has pulled back the curtain, showing what may be a carefully made illusion. Whether you believe Bauer's claims or think they are the ultimate attack piece against Meghan and Harry, one thing is clear. The questions he's raised will not go away. They will be remembered throughout history, casting doubt on everything we thought we knew about Harry and Meghan's story. The truth, as Bauer said in court, doesn't belong to anyone. It simply exists, and no amount of public relations campaigns, legal threats, or strategic silence can keep it buried forever. For Harry, the man who wanted nothing more than to protect his family from the intrusions he believes killed his mother, the irony is devastating. His attempts to shield his loved ones from scrutiny may have created the exact conditions for the most explosive scrutiny imaginable. For Meghan, the actress who became a princess and then walked away from royalty to build her own empire. The stakes couldn't be higher. If Bauer's claims are proven true, everything she's built, her brand, her trustworthiness, her future, collapses instantly. For Archie, an innocent child caught in the middle of adult deceptions and power games, the future is uncertain and possibly traumatic, no matter what the truth reveals. And for the British monarchy, an institution that has survived wars, scandals, and hundreds of years of change. This may be the test that determines whether it can survive in the modern age of DNA testing and demands for complete openness. We are committed to continuing to follow and bring you the latest developments in this unfolding drama. The truth is coming, whether through court documents, DNA evidence, or testimony from someone who reveals secrets. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates on what may be the biggest royal scandal in modern history. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you believe Tom Bauer's strong testimony? Or do you think this is just a final attempt to destroy Meghan and Harry's family? Do you think Meghan should immediately provide DNA evidence to silence critics? Do you believe Harry knew the truth, or is he the ultimate victim in this situation? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss what this means for the future of the monarchy and whether the institution can survive if these accusations prove true. The storm of revelations has only just begun. And before it's over, everything we thought we knew about the most famous couple in the world may be proven to be nothing more than a carefully crafted lie.